There's a small village on the Mediterranean coast of Spain sitting on top of nearly 7 kilometers of underwater caves. So naturally, we are going to don our scuba equipment and go explore that, including the sinister remains of a fatal dive, in today's episode on the Dive Saga channel. After every episode, I receive questions what camera equipment we used to shoot each episode. Well, this episode was shot entirely on the Insta360 Ace Pro. We're about to shoot in some very tight spots, so I wanted to use an action camera, and of course, because this is a cave diving episode, we'll be in some extreme low light situations. And if you've watched my previous videos with thoughts on the Insta360 Ace Pro, then you know that I consider this the king of low light shooting. This is the town of Isla Plana, close to Cartagena in Murcia, Spain. A small town with a very big secret.
Today, a super cool dive site for you guys. You may think it is in the ocean behind me over there, or maybe even by that lighthouse in the back, but you would be wrong. Today, we are diving underneath my feet. A super cool cave dive for you guys. By the way, if you want to pick up some Dive Saga merch, you can actually do that. I'll put a link underneath the videos. We also hit 21,000 subs on the channel this week, so thank you very much. Now, let's go cave diving.
If you were hoping for an epic hike through the Spanish countryside, you're out of luck, because this dive site is in a very unusual spot.
Usually when we go to a cave, we're in the jungle or in forest or some type of desert area. And right now we are full on in like a residential area. And that's absolutely crazy because the cave, which is almost 7 kilometers long, is underneath this residential area.
No grand entrance or big national park. The Cueva del Agua, which is simply Spanish for water cave, is located on a street corner under some apartment complexes and houses. You would be forgiven for driving right past it, since it looks like any other vacant lot and not like the entrance to a sprawling cave system. If you want to visit, you are in for some tricky stairs, and to be honest, unless you are a certified cave diver, there isn't much here for you.
It's very difficult to believe, of course, that this small little bit of water leads to almost 7 kilometers of underground passageways, galleries, and tunnels.
But with 7 kilometers of underwater cave comes 7 kilometers of risk and danger. So sadly, Cueva del Agua is also the final resting place of 3 cave divers. Coincidentally, all 3 named Antonio, who lost their life while trying to explore this cave system. So I enlisted the help of cave diving expert Florian Simuns, who knows Cueva del Agua very well, so we can set up a dive to explore the cave and even find the diving equipment that was left behind during one of those fatal dives.
It's a very strange feeling to gear up in what is essentially just the middle of a neighborhood. Like, it's not a park or a beach. It seems to be like there's driveways there's a parking spot here, and people are walking their dog, and there's like a whole cave system right underneath.
For good measure, let's repeat that cave diving is an extremely risky and complicated activity that requires a high level of skills, knowledge and preparation.
Between the cacti in Spain, it's the perfect place to perforate your dry suit.
One of the other reasons that I'm using the Insta360 Ace Pro for this particular shoot is because of its programmable, custom presets. See, during the dive, in the dive housing, I can basically still access everything so long as I pre-program it, and with just the touch of one button I can toggle between high or low frame rates as is needed for that particular shot. If you regularly watch the Dive Saga channel, then you know I always say that 50% of the dive is how cool the access to the dive is. And this is another one I think that ranks highly on that list. And so it's time to execute our dive plan and descend into Cueva del Agua. It's immediately clear that the cavern area, the part of the cave that receives some daylight, is very milky from all the stirred up sediment. Regardless of the conditions, we install a cavern line that will take us to the main cave line. The blurry haze you can see in the image here is the thermocline. The water on top is 13 degrees Celsius or 55 degrees Fahrenheit, but the water below is a very, very comfortable 29 degrees Celsius or 84 degrees Fahrenheit, because Cueva del Agua is flooded with thermal waters. A little bit deeper into the cavern area, the visibility clears up nicely, and after about 75 meters or 250 feet horizontal at a depth of 12 meters or 40 feet, we are able to tie into the main cave line. In many caves, the main cave line starts that far from the surface so that untrained individuals aren't likely to find it, follow it, and get themselves into trouble. A personal marker identifies our way out. Cueva del Agua has been explored since 1974, but new passages are being discovered to this day. The complex network of galleries, muddy areas, and narrow passages have not been easy to map. Luckily, the main cave line runs along a fairly easy trajectory for well-trained cave divers. We reach our first T. In cave diving, a T is a point in the dive where the main line splits into multiple directions. So we confirm our exit direction and install a personal marker before continuing. Although these directional decisions look easy to make and remember, they can become confusing on the way out, and definitely so in an emergency. Part of the allure of this type of diving is, of course, being able to inspect the geological features of the cave, like these curious yet beautiful white ceilings. But while admiring all this beauty, divers need to be extremely careful to avoid contact with the environment. This cave, for example, has a clay-based bottom composition, which, when disturbed even lightly, can cause immediate and catastrophic loss of visibility. Buoyancy control is the name of the game. Here and there, you may notice a ceiling light or some other unexpected light source in this video. Because the cave has no other access points to the surface, all of these are artificial lights placed by us. Lighting out a cave for a photo or video shoot is not an easy task, and it is very time-consuming, but the final result can look mesmerizing. Finally, we get to the second tee, so Florian places another personal reference marker. This tee is also the location of one of the fatal accidents in this cave. It's a dark, larger chamber compared to some of the other passages, so we take out some of our lights for staging. Behind one of the rocks, Florian stages a 60,000 lumens video light to create some bounce light in the room. We've staged several lights across the room because the floor space where Antonio's diving equipment is situated is too narrow to work with lights mounted on the sides of the camera. Once again, everything is covered in clay and every surface is volatile and should not be disturbed if we don't want to ruin the shoot. To ensure our own safety in case of a silt out, we attach a jump reel before descending between the jagged rocks on the floor. Tucked away between the boulders and half sunken into the thick clay and dust lies the sinister reminder that cave diving holds immense risk, and that everything we know about safe cave diving today is because we are able to stand on the shoulders of giants. And with that in mind, we respect our turn pressure and start our way out, following the cave line and our markers to the exit of Cueva del Agua. And again, one last time, this episode was shot entirely on the Insta360 Ace Pro. And if you want to pick one up for yourself, I'm putting a link below in the description. Make sure to check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.